What? Welcome back, everyone. It's your host, Luyanda the Entertainer, and I'm here with Lovely, a Cape Town-based graffiti artist, one of my faves, and we're going to have a conversation about his work, his legacy, and his experiences as a graffiti artist in the city of Cape Town. So, Lovely, how would you introduce us to you and your work, and just the background of where you come from and how you found yourself where you are today?
Hello, name's Lee Kibido, Leighcupido, my government name. My aliases are Brother Love, and it used to be Love Lee. Love Lee was the beginning of my graffiti arts expression. There was a lot of play. I was playing a lot, finding my own energy, my own style, not really taking myself seriously at that time. And I've been doing commissions for like 15 years, no? 12 years, 12 years in arts, illustration, digital works. I've worked abroad and I worked in Cape Town, like I mentioned, for the two corporations. Last year, June, I quit my job to pursue a freelance career and my own business as B Love, which is an acronym for the whole studio, Brother Love Studios. I
Hmm.
also write Bro, BRO. That's my street alias. So I've got a lot of masks that I can wear. My business mask is Brother Love Studios. My brand is B Love. My graffiti is Bro. That's who I am.
All right, fair, man. So I want to ask, in terms of graffiti specifically, how did you start? It's not something that's classically taught. It's not something that's traditionally trained. Hell, it's not even something people would like to see on their own walls or in the cities. So how did you get into it?
I got into it as a admirer like yourself of graffiti for many years. I admired the culture. I admired the idea of like getting up, putting up your name. I became a b-boy in 1998, 1997. When becoming a b-boy, I had to go to Mitchell's Plain to practice. The route to Mitchell's to the practice classroom was on Cedar High, and I was part of B-Boy King's breakdancing crew. That the route allowed me to see so much graffiti in Mitchell's Plain and surrounding. Yeah, in Mitchell's Plain. Not so much in Stramontein at the time. And because I was living in Stramontein, but I had to walk to Mitchell's Plain, I just got influenced by so many great artists like Debo, Falco One, Mac One, Hoja the Devastator, this Seth One Time. And when I got into that, when I got inspired by that, I hit the Strumfontein library ignorantly because I was drawing on walls on high school, uh, my own little characters that somebody showed me how to do a character, and that was like, whoa, I need to write this character everywhere. So I wrote the character throughout the stairwells on my high school, Strumfontein Senior Secondary, and that kind of inspired me to get spray can and actually put it up on the wall. The first wall I put up on was Strauntine Library, and it was like 9:30 in the evening, and people saw me, and it was really bad because eventually the neighborhood watch got hold of me, dude, and they kind of beat me up, and I stopped doing graffiti for like some time after high school until I met Seth one time, and then Seth saw my sketches that I've been doing for a couple of years. He said I'm completely toy, and I was like, I don't know what toy means. And then he explained what toy means, which means it's you're a noob, you're a brand new person to the scene. You don't really know anything about it. And I agreed with him after I saw their sketches. I was like, okay, that's why I'm a noob. But then I started hanging out with him a lot. because I got addicted by the idea that some people with so much experience was willing to let me hang out around them. This was
Mm,
at like 23, 24. Now
mm,
remember, I had jobs before that. So I was not working as a artist by then. I didn't even consider it art form at that time. When I met those homies, they didn't consider it art form. They've been doing graffiti since like 16. So by the time I started doing graffiti at 24, I was a complete toy. They looked at me, I was like, this nigga can't do anything. He's not gonna get anything right. He's old and he's not really experienced because they had like the whole 16 years to 18, 19, and then they started getting paid for doing stuff with their hands. No experience, straight out of high school.
mm,
That really made them rock stars in my eyes
mm,
because they never had jobs. They were only doing graffiti. They were doing work with Falco, Mac One. They were doing tours with these big guys already. So I was obviously the noob of the group. And I took it on my chin because I was bullied in high school. And
mhm,
because of bullying, I became a bully.
mm,
So I grew a really thick skin when it came to critique about myself and critique about what I do. And I was critiqued for like 5 years in the game. Like everything I did was critiqued on. And a lot of it was like just people picking on me, which I could define like, oh, this person's picking on me. But there was also like, hey, you should do it right one time and don't be lazy to go back to your piece and fix it. No matter how long you've been working on it. If it's wrong, go fix it.
mhm,
And those things I learned. But at that time, I could distinguish, nah, this brother's picking on me. I'll get you back, but I'm going to listen now to, and as well as like, oh, this brother's actually trying to help me. He just doesn't know how to say it properly. And I took
mhm,
it on the
mhm,
chin. And for like 5 years, I told myself I don't want to take pictures of my stuff. So I don't have any pictures for 5 years of my work coming up because the people that I was coming up with were far, far beyond me. And I told myself I need to get to that level and catch up real quick. It took me about 6 or 7 years to get to a level where I started saying, guy, now I started pushing back on the things that you're picking me on. I always agreed with like, hey, if I need to do something, I need to do something. But now the stuff that you're picking me on, I started saying, bruh, that doesn't make sense. I know why I'm doing this. And it started like me pushing back to the level of like, I think I understand what I'm doing now.
mm,
Like after 5 years, I think I understood what I was busy doing. And I got my own ego in the game where I started saying, yo, if you're going to keep talking to me like that, I'm going to burn you one day and it's going to hurt your feelings and I'm coming for you. And only after like 10 or 11 years, like another 6 years, another 6 or 7 years, I started burning back. I told you, I'm going to burn you because my style is growing. You have your style. And what I've understood about style, and if you don't grow your style gets stale. If you
yeah,
don't add on to that, if you don't keep looking at stuff, your style gets stale. These guys came from a culture of don't bite anything. By biting, that means copying. And that was not allowed. So I didn't copy. I just came up with freestyle stuff that came out of me, which nobody understood what it was, including me. And for years, I thought it looked bad until I realized, nah, that's actually what I do, dude.
mm,
And then I grew like that by just building more confidence in what I am doing. Getting up was an important part of graffiti, and that I had to do alone. As the people that I was with were experienced mural artists, so they were getting gigs. They couldn't really bomb by the sense of illegal artwork. I
mm,
had to put in the work somewhat on my own. And once I did that, I got a lot more respect on the streets because of putting in work, of stuff that is still running now, going over 10 years now. A lot of stuff still running. Northern suburbs, some southern suburbs, some canals, some rivers, some bridges. I'm still running, which is a good feeling. And now I'm running as Bro, BRO,
All
which
right.
is now more, it's more of a business over me out there playing, putting my name up. I still play a lot because I enjoy playing it. The game is fun. The game is a lot of fun.
I can
To get
imagine.
out, to not know what you're gonna do, but to have a intention, like a small sketch, drawing a line on a page, lines on a page, and to come up with a mural in a brand new place with nobody that you ever met is an addictive feeling. To
Hey,
leave a wall and go like that wasn't there like 2 or 3 hours ago, and then just leave it and you don't know what's gonna happen to it.
hey,
There's something addictive about that.
leaving your mark in a way.
Leaving your mark and not being so precious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Fair.
don't know what's going to happen. Somebody could come over and cap it. Somebody that doesn't like you can come over, write his name over you, just because he's got some hate, the fact that you up more than him.
Mm. That's I never
Or, yeah,
I never knew that side of the graffiti world. I think it's because we take it for granted. You see it on the streets, you walk past it, and you're like, all right, whatever. But now there's a whole culture to it. And here's a question I want to ask. What moments did you see that you could turn this, let's say, experience of doing it for yourself and turn it into a business? How did that transition happen?
um, well, looking at my peers at the time,
Mm.
my peers in the game were far, far ahead of me. At the time, I was working in a print shop. I was just making prints, dude, printing out some shit. And a repo company. I was working at a repo company. So I was making plates for big print companies. By plates, I mean CMYK plates for litho. So that's the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. You need plates to make up big silk screens. So I used to do that and also do t-shirt designs. So that's how I found out how to do my own t-shirts and stuff like that. But it all started by one gig, I think. It was one gig that I had to help somebody, and he gave me money for drawing on the wall. Not even my drawings, it was his drawings. He etched it out, like the outline of it, and then I just had to help fill in, and I got money for that. And that was like, whoa. I was playing for so many years, and now I got money for the thing that I was playing with. That there was a switch of like, yo, bro, this could be my thing. But I did know that they had a whole teenage years, a couple of teenage years to get themselves to a skill level where they are qualified to get paid. I was still helping.
Mm.
Yeah, I wasn't getting that money that he's getting. I'm getting like a day rate. He's getting per square meter or
Whoa.
per square hour. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Whoa.
And that's when I also thought, I also want to do that. I also
Hmm.
want to get paid for that. Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
that was, yeah.
So would you say these, let's say, working with other people inspired you, influenced you to the point where you felt confident enough to do it yourself?
After I started painting alone a lot,
Mm.
after I started doing my own pieces, my own characters, my own background ideas, just painting alone to understand what my composition of characters would be. How would I compose my characters? How can I make my own ideas on the wall? Only until I can map out my own concepts did I feel more confident in like, I think I can charge people for this now on my own.
That's fair,
Yeah.
man. How about the environment of Cape Town? How has that influenced you?
I'll be honest with you, dude. Cape Town hasn't influenced me that much.
Mm.
Um, I was lucky to have an opportunity because about 6, 7 years ago, I lived in Denmark for 4 years, and that experience inspired me the most. Um, I'm not saying my style was whack when I left, but my style was okay. I had an idea of my letters and stuff, but after going to Europe and seeing so much styles, because in Cape Town there's a bylaw that restricts anybody from painting on. For example, if I had a home, I would
Uh-huh.
have to ask I would have to ask three neighbors, write a letter to the local government stating why I want to paint my wall, who's going to paint my wall, and also the sketch that is going to be painted on the wall. The sketch is
Mm.
signed off by SAPs.
The police.
This is been going on for 12 years now, more than
Mm.
12 years now. I don't know what SAP is going to do, where their creative input comes in, why they do that, why they need to give us permission to that. In Europe, they will allocated spaces for the youth to just go paint. It was called youth houses. And in the youth house, there's a chill area and there's studio booths to rent out. A mixing studio, a podcast studio, and a photography studio where you can just go play, dude. Come up with your ideas and play. Surrounding
Mm.
all of these buildings are walls where you can just go paint. So you
Wow.
see so much styles, and because of seeing so much styles in small towns and in Copenhagen, I think it loosened up a lot. When I came back to Cape Town, inspired by what we're doing here, my style came out. And that's
Okay.
going on now 3 or 4 years now. 3 or 4 years
Wow.
that I feel this is my style. This is what I'm going to continue growing. But it had to take a lot of styles for me to find my own style. And I think that's what's lacking in Cape Town and not so much Joburg. Joburg is booming in the sense of graffiti because there's a culture of graffiti that was grown by a company, installed a culture.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair. In
yeah,
Joburg, as a resident, I've seen it's a lot more, I don't want to say accepted, but it's normalized. Some will do for professionally. Like I know, who was it? It was Yay Abe who was working on a mural for Heineken in Braamfontein. But then there's also artists who just do it under the bridge for themselves. I know I saw who's this guy, Drake, not Drizzy Drake, but
yeah,
Drake, the graffiti artist, spray
yeah.
paint to
No,
get back to the city a couple years ago. And those kind of initiatives, and that's not even like mention the CBD and how they institute that kind of culture as a design and decorative aspect to
the
just the
city,
landscape, the cityscape. It's interesting.
the city of Joburg has money that every building that goes up 100K of that money of that building must go to arts,
That's
local
true.
art.
That's true.
That is known, dude. That's not here in Cape Town. So
Really.
we are very stifled when it comes to creativity, and it highlights the oppressive culture that the local
Mm,
government has. Because to take away arts or restrict arts on anywhere in your neighborhood is bad. You're
hey,
stifling your people. You're not allowing them to actually express themselves. Because not only for me, if you have a house and you want to put a mosaic on your house that highlights your number, you have to go to the council for that. And most people don't know that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
So
that.
most people don't know that in Cape Town. So some people get fines for writing the name of their house on the building. It's
Fine.
stupid.
As in
Bruh.
my house, my name, my house number. I'm getting fined for that.
Exactly.
That's
You're getting
crazy,
fined.
man.
Bruh. And I got police called on me for painting a wall that the guy that called the police doesn't own.
Oh my God. So he just wanted to complain. He just saw you and was like, I don't like this.
Yeah,
Ugh,
social justice warriors, but I was that price push, and that's when he
ugh.
called the police.
That's so
But
whack,
also the
man.
thing is, it's so whack, dude, because it's the social justice warriors. It's the culture of like, I'll save the day. Watch
Mm,
me. I'll get these criminals. It's instilled that the wardens still don't realize they're in prison.
all right. What?
Yeah. So
That's
they are
crazy,
acting
man.
like wardens to the city and the community when they are also mentally in a trap, bro. You don't have
Yeah,
to
with
go
all these
police if someone's
challenges,
screaming colors.
and all these kind of obstacles in your way, how do you stay inspired, man? Like, where do you find the inspiration?
You keep drawing, dude. Well, inspirations all around us. Our country is an amazing country with infinite amount of inspiration. You just have to look around. You just have to look around. Look around. There's stories everywhere. Our stories were my stories in Denmark blew people's minds, and it was just me growing up in a somewhat how do I say somewhat low income
Hmm.
environment, and it was just me growing up to it. I think our stories are super interesting to ourselves, but we don't talk about our stories or appreciate those stories because we just feel that's a heavy story. Because I think we all have heavy stories here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I hear you. Hey,
But
man,
I do. Yeah.
what message do you want your art to convey when people see it? If there's a message at all.
I got a comment the other day that my work is weird, but also psychedelic in the same way. And I really like that comment actually. And what that to me means, my authenticness shines through. I'm trying to get people to like and enjoy the weirdness of something that they don't really understand. Because my style is nobody gets it. Because I'm trying to get out my thing that I haven't seen.
Mm.
I'm, tr- I'm trying to tap into stuff that I haven't seen. So a lot of my work, no reference.
Yo.
For years, no reference. I'm just trying to get stuff out of my head. Now, as a business, I'm referencing stuff because it's a business and it's graphic design. And graphic
Mm.
design is reference. There's no starting point from, no, there's no. Graphic design always has a reference to start from.
That's fair. As a graphic designer myself, I recognize that truth that you gotta. No, you don't have to. It's not a golden rule, but it's always great for people to recognize their influence and where you're coming from. This makes it that much more appealing on a corporate business sense, but also it just makes it more relatable in a to the average Joe who's not necessarily into these art spaces 24/7. You feel me?
100%. 100%. A graphic design is a people's artwork, but there's always like an agenda behind graphic designs to relay a message, to communicate something, but still an art form,
Mm.
which I really enjoy. However, corporate identity stuff, not so much anymore. Still love font work. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's more of a communication now. So I do want people to understand what I'm saying with my work to a certain extent.
That's fair, man. How about this last question? What, how do you measure success? Let me ask that. How do you measure success as a business and as a, not graphic designer, a graffiti artist, respectively?
Yeah, there's a lot of way to measure success. My success and my goal, for me personally, is land, a
Mm.
place to make a sanctuary, so that I can grow for myself, but also help others to grow. Yeah, and also help others to grow. Um, by my success, what I define as my success is land, a sanctuary, a moving business that I can eventually sell or keep for my own, my products, my artwork on everything. That's my success.
Mm.
I don't know what somebody else's success would be. Because some people don't even consider land as a success. My success would just be community, a big community of artists, a sanctuary, and yeah, just ownership of everything that I do.
Mm.
I think that's successful to have ownership. I think we lack ownership in South Africa.
Yeah.
We're easy to give our artwork away to some brand, to somebody else. Um, but I'm struggling now. I'm not struggling, but my business is going slow, dude. But I'm selling stuff. I'm selling
Mm.
teas, I'm selling prints, I'm selling original artwork. I'm also selling the graffiti course. I'm also doing artwork, commissioned artwork, which funds everything that I do through these commissions. But it's mainly to the agenda is own my own stuff, own everything I do. Because a lot of artists work for brands, but then that brand owns that artwork. You can't
Yeah.
replicate that artwork. You
Yeah.
spend what, a week, 2 weeks on that artwork? You can never use that artwork again. And
Mm.
that's what I want to steer away from. And also talk to people about owning your stuff. It's not easy. It's this is very hard. 7 months in, and only after 5 months did I really get traction. And now it's moving. I still have to put in a lot of work, a lot of marketing, but the end game is like I'm gonna own everything. That
Mm.
money comes straight to me,
Mm.
and that culture should be. I feel that culture should be spoken about more, and not just give your stuff away to brands because the brand is bigger than you. Because these brands win. They have a glossary of amazing artists for how many years, and that's all their artwork that they can replicate into whatever they want. You
Yeah.
got your bag, but you can make more money off your artwork if you owned it.
Yeah.
And yeah, the examples are Yasin Bey, Dave Chappelle, these kind of people is where I want to be at, owning everything I do. Yeah,
I get that. It's clear that you have a clear sense of community as well as ownership and just a sense of freedom when it comes to how you create. And I respect that. I respect it.
thanks,
Hey,
bro.
we're running out of
Not
time.
easy. Bro.
Hmm?
Okay.
Now you can say something.
No, no,
We still have 5 minutes.
no. I'm just saying it's not easy. Ownership. It's not easy because we haven't been taught about owning anything. So
Fair.
I took a few years to get my mind into. I need to own my stuff, and how can I own that? And that took like a mastery of self excellence course to understand my blocks of how to be mm, my best me and my higher self. And that took years, dude. It's not an easy trip. Nobody gives you the education for free. Yeah,
That's an understatement, fam. Nothing's free. But that's what we fight. And each day we have a chance to just make something. That's another day that we own for ourselves.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. But one step at a time. And also, I'm not fast money. I
Mm.
know that this is gonna be tough, bro. This is gonna be hard for a while. But the sustainable money to where I can have, because I'm working for my pension. I don't
Mm.
have any pension because I don't work for corporation now. So my aim is to build a company for 10 years and then decide if I want to sell that company or keep that company. Because I want to retire at, yeah, before 60.
Fair.
That's the aim. Before 60, I would like to retire. I can do it because of the experience that I learned from all of those corporations. And I want to share that idea of, bro, just give yourself 10 years. Everybody just gave themselves 10 years in this time. This is what I want to do. We could do anything. You can really do anything. In the 15 years, in the, yeah, in the 20 years, from 20 to 40, bro, I left the country. I started my own brand. I worked for Danish biggest clothing retailer in Denmark. Then came back, worked for the biggest restaurant retailer. And this was just energy, no thought, no plan. I did amazing things. So now I'm planning structure, strategy, and implementing every day in small little increments. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the insights and thank you for your time. I hope you prosper and you build out your vision further. You still have time, and it's clear that you've been putting in time, so it's probably gonna work out for you.
Give
And
thanks, dude. Much appreciate you giving me my flowers.
man, we have to give our flowers, but we can still smell them. And I love your art. It was really interesting, and it's rare to actually have a chance to talk to graffiti artists because you guys are so hidden away. You'll see them once in a while, maybe even at night under a bridge. You never know. But it was just nice to have this perspective,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate you giving me your time and your energy and your just insights, man. It's really good to be able to share this. And I even got some insight because I also wanted at some point to be a graffiti artist. Not even for the cash, just I always wanted to do a tag. And when I tried doing tags in Cape Town, like you said, they would just erase like 2, 3 days later. I'm like, damn, this place is that strict. So I understand what you mean when you say that all these bylaws and all these kind of obstacles really hold you back. But that's not something to hold you back as an artist. That's an opportunity to push as an artist. Just to close off, I hope it all works out for you. And I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good career for moving forward. And just to thank you for all you've done for me, man. Peace. Appreciate it.